in taking this journey that we're about to take in the area of disease, or pathology, nutrition, or food, that we would make sense. We want to make sense. Above all, we must make sense. It is necessary that we make sense. We don't want to regurgitate words that are loaded, but they never make sense. Like, for instance, nutrition. The word nutrition will be discussed today. We show how genetics dictates our nutrition. Now, this should have been shown to us, ever since we were removed from Africa. This should have been shown to us by our historians and ecclesiasticians. Why does it have to come from an herbalist? From an individual that has no credibility in the community. An individual that's looked upon as a voodoo doctor, as a persona non grata. That is the position that the healer has been placed by today's society. Yet, as we look carefully at our Bible, it says that the herbs is for the healing of the nations. The herbs are for the healing of the nations. In Genesis, in Ezekiel, and Revelation, that you would not make any mistakes in the first, middle, and last. So what is it that could be taking place that if someone comes with an entity that may diametrically oppose the one in existence, but yet equitable, why should that entity be looked upon as something other than complementary? Sister Naima was saying that we cure AIDS. Sure we do. Not only AIDS. It is difficult for us at this point to understand or even to think that AIDS could be cured, and especially by a black man. AIDS is not being cured by a black man. AIDS has not been cured by me. AIDS has been cured by God. You see, we have been playing with philosophy. We have been playing with mathematics. If you ask anyone who has been to school, they will tell you that mathematics is a complete science. Everyone would say that. It is a complete science. If mathematics was a complete science, everything built by it crumbles. What happened? Everything made by it crumbles. It has to. Because the creator of mathematics is only a product of life itself. So how could he come with a structure or something to add to life procession? Then we are saying that life needed mathematics to exist for life to perpetuate herself. No, life was there trillions and billions of years before mathematics came into existence. How did life support itself without mathematics? How did the African live in the jungles of Africa with lions and elephants and giraffes and a whole lot of snakes? How did they live without mathematics? And did they live healthy? These questions need to be asked. We need to ask these questions if we are to travel into the 21st century healthy. Because if we begin to take inventory and measure from where we at now, compared with that of our forefathers, we are at a deficit. We are at a gross deficit, in which, when we reach the 70, we're satisfied. No. Our ancestors lived hundreds of years, and there are people on this planet that I have visited throughout the world that live over 140 years on the average. Not an individual out of 10,000. I am talking about the average. I came back to New York once and I told someone that men in certain villages of South America fathered children in their hundreds. And then the man said that he had the milkman helping him. He had to say that. Of course he had to say that. Because from his perspective, it was all over with. So therefore, he assumed that everyone lived in that world with him. No. No, 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 no. Each and every one of us in this room this evening, we are different. We see things different. We're not better. How could I be better than any one of you here? Didn't we came from the same gene pool? Didn't we all came from the same gene pool? So we don't want these mathematical words to interfere with this journey. Because if we use them, we're going to be at a deficit this evening, like for instance, better or worse, good and bad, inferior or superior. No, we have to throw that stuff out. Because in the forest, that simply does not exist. In life itself, it does not exist. Like for instance, if we are to use the word good and bad, superior, inferior, then would we say that the soil is inferior to the rain? Or water inferior to fire? Or superior? Aren't they all necessary? Aren't they all needed? Would we say that our liver is less important than our heart? Or that our fingers are less important than the kidneys? Can't say that. Because everything that was given to us on our body by Creator was for specific use. We cannot kill all of just a termite. A termite itself. If you kill a termite, you're interfering with the ozone level. Why? Because the termite produces methane that maintains the ozone level. A duck that flies from Canada to South America, his droppings reseeds the planet. It seeds the planet. You see, the elephant, his droppings begin to fertilize again, replenishes the Serengeti plain. All of these things were made by Creator, by creation, for a specific purpose. Oh, we could easily say that. Well, there is no purpose for an ant. An ant is very important, just as important as you. He was not made just to crawl around, or a fish, a snake. We all have purpose. So if everything has purpose, how could we add mathematics within that particular structure? Or philosophy? See? So now, we're going to abandon philosophy and mathematics this evening just for a second to understand what it is that is really going on. Now, we talk of nutritional pathology, but we want to understand what it is. Why is that my body sick? I am sick. I go to the doctor. I can give me certain things, but my disease is manifesting more and more every day. It's compounding. Then one day I go to an herbalist. I say, well, let me go try an herbalist, a natural doctor. And when you go to him, he gives you comfrey. Oh, yes, there are a lot of people in this group here. How many people here know about comfrey? You see, many. Good. And it's a very good plant. Am I right? No good. You see, wrong information. That is what we are talking about. See, we are told that comfrey is good because comfrey would knit your bones. Comfrey is known as consam, or knit bone. It is also known as what? As consuelda. Suelda consuelda in Spanish. But in reality, comfrey is dangerous. Comfrey will tie your bowels up and will eventually kill you. And that is the God in heaven truth. But all of you who raised your hands that you know about comfrey, you read that comfrey was good. You heard that comfrey was good. But do you know that comfrey is good? No, you don't know. You do not know. Because I knew. that would be the answer when I ask about comfort, because I was there once. Remember, I am no better than you. I am no less than you. The same information you heard, I heard. But what happened? I just took myself slightly away from it to see if there could be another perspective. Because the one that I'm noticing just isn't helping anyone. When we get sick, we want someone to heal us. We don't want someone to promise us health, take our money. We want to be healed. Our body's all we have, and it's really ours. This, God gave us this. You want to be happy. You want to be happy when you get 1,000 years or 100 years. You have your eyes and your limbs. See, when you get to 90, and you're not able to go into the bathroom by yourself, you are in trouble. You would be in trouble. When you are 90 and you cannot see, and you need glasses, and your glasses break on you, oh boy, when you're blind. You need every part of you that the Creator gave us. We need it. That when we get older, we want to die healthy. Like most old people die in these villages I'm talking about, they die in their 140, they die in their sleep. But they may have been working that day. And when they go to sleep, they did not wake up. What a beautiful way than to be in a bed for 20 years or to suffer gout, arthritis, arthritic pains are unbearable. Now imagine you have to suffer arthritic pains for 20 years, then die. Oh boy, what a death. I mean, that was a suffering death. So we want to now understand why our bodies are diseased. We have heard so many things about nutrition and disease and pathology and medicine and whatever it is, herbs and whatnot. We want to now begin to open up this Pandora box. And today will be the first leg of this journey. First, we want to understand that since creation, as Creator shows us, as the Creator shows that the herbs are for the healing of the nations, sure. Of course they were, and they are now. This was the substance used as far back as you could go into history. The father of medicine, or the man that was given the title or the credit as being the father of medicine, was Hippocrates. But really, it was Imhotep one way back in Egypt. But you know, because we are humble people, it doesn't matter. We have no ego to defend when the Caucasian claim that Hippocrates, the father of medicine, many of us knew he was not. But why say anything? Even if you did, so what? The media is against you. Then the media was against me. Like the sister said, when I was arrested, everybody knew that I was a charlatan because this man claimed that he cured AIDS. This ad was in the newspaper, in the Amsterdam News and the Village Voice. But when I won the case in the Supreme Court, proving that we cure all these diseases, you didn't hear anything about it. Why? Because we do not control the media. It's as simple as that. So Mr. Hippocrates was given the credit. But let us give it to Hippocrates again this evening. He was the father of medicine. Cure all disease. What substance did he use? Herbs or chemicals? You see?
Herbs.
Had to be herbs. Because there were no chemicals. And he cured every disease known to man. Now, shouldn't we, the populace that are sick, go to a physician and say, hey, look, is it a fact that, is it true that Hippocrates was the father of medicine? Yes. And that you took the Hippocratic oath to become this what you are, doctor? Yes. Then, why are you using chemicals? Why are you using these chemicals? Justify these chemicals. No, we don't ask them to justify anything. Because the food that was given to us 400 years ago prevent us from asking those questions. That very food is the food that has us saying, I am better than you. Or, well, I don't think that I am as good as Paul. You mean to tell me that God made one one superior to the other. And the Bible says again that no one is superior to the other. Who is more or lesser? No one. So we don't ask these questions because we're afraid. I don't know why we should be afraid, but we should ask these questions. Why are you using these chemicals? Well, the herbs continue to be the champion of healing until the late 1700s. And that's when the noise is going to begin. And that's when the whole mess is going to start. The mess that you and I were not shown. The mess that we do not know now. No one is writing about it. But this is what took place. Galen became the last of the natural healers. Claudio Galen, 1720, Renaissance, Italy. He pursued the herbs up until that point. At that point, there was a Dutch who was very angry because he found out that medicine began in Africa. He did not like that idea. No, because within some people exists that thing we call prejudice. You know, a nigger. No, we're going to make our own medicine. So what they did, they decided to make their own artificial medicine. They did not want to use this black stuff that started in Egypt or in the jungles of Africa. Not in the jungles because the jungle people were not sick. They didn't have any doctors in the jungles of Africa. They didn't have any healers. Healing came out of disease. Africa was never disease. That's why the African today is having problem healing themselves because they do not know about this stuff we call disease. How could he know about disease when he was not diseased? When the Creator made us, we made every living species of living things. He gave each one a food that was not shown to us. The books did not mention those things. Because the book across the board write that eggs, bacon, bread, a glass of milk is the proper nutrition. Am I right? In the morning for breakfast. Of course. That goes for black, white, and every other race. Except Chinese, because he just doesn't eat egg for breakfast. But this is a standard breakfast. You understand? This is a standard breakfast. When you go, as I have done so many times, when I go to California and I talk to an anthropologist, I hear him talk about Margaret Mead, Paul Broca. He talks about Sir Phyllis Mettrie. Historians talk about these men too. And I go to New York, I hear the same, another anthropologist talk about the same man as reference. I come to Chicago, I hear the same thing. So I begin to see that we have become molded into one little package and we all behave the same way without investigating it. We look at the styles. Goes the same way. Without questioning. So now the time has come that God is allowing us to ask those questions. Why? Because if we look at the arrangement that God shows us, he shows us this. I put a camel in the desert because he could go up to 3 weeks without drinking water. Take a horse in the desert for 3 weeks without drinking water, he's dead. He cannot live. So God put the camel where? In the desert. He did not put a gorilla in the desert. No, he put the gorilla where? The jungles, where there's a lot of leaves and bamboo shoots that he could eat. He put the polar bear in Alaska. He put the llama in South America. He didn't put the llama, although he looked like a camel, he did not put that as an animal in the desert. He put him where? In South America, because the climate is consistent with that particular cell group, and the food is there for that cell group. Now, I hear African people say, well, you know, I am studying Chinese philosophy, or I'm studying Indian philosophy, or I'm studying Plato. The same man that's telling me that he's studying Plato is eating bacon and eggs. The first person he should have studied was who? Himself. But that person was removed from him. And now we are vulnerable. We are vulnerable with this so devastating thing we call disease that goes deeper than you and I would ever realize. It goes so deep. Disease goes so deep. First, it does one thing. Above all, it breaks your energy. It takes away your energy first. Then it breaks your will. And then it begins to eat more away on you. It's going to own you now. It's going to make you hate yourself for the rest of your life until you die.